Hello folks, welcome back to another video. Today this is hockey, and I know most on YouTube don't collect hockey, but some do. I know Shane over at Shoebox Legends is a big hockey guy, and everybody north of the border up here in Canada love their hockey. I do like it. I don't think I love it. I think I love some of the other sports that were tougher to get a little better. Uh, some vintage back in the day. Well, I say vintage, but I'm showing my age. But like older football and baseball, and now lately I've got into boxing. So I thought I'd show a little backdrop with some sweet. We got 82, 83 Gretzky record breaker and a 9. The coffee in action and a PSA 10. First year, Tops Hockey, 1954, Terry Sawchuk in a 4. And then from the 83-84 set, I've got two Hall of Famers, Guy Lafleur's base card in a 10, and Potvin also in a 10. So some of my better condition cards, not so much the Sawchuk, but that's just a great card and a great set. So today we're going to talk about some young guns that maybe if you were getting into hockey that you should or already have. I'm going to deal with, 6 or 7 forwards and I think 3 goalies that I think 2 for sure. 1 we'll see indoors. So first off is Michael Bunting. Now this year he's not having the greatest year. The Leafs grabbed him from the Coyotes, and they did have him on a line with, I believe, Matthews and Marner. I just think he's, on the Leafs you've got Matthews, Marner, Tavares. This year, Nylander's up there in points, and Morgan Riley, their top defenseman. But this guy needs to pick up his socks a little bit, and he shall be fine. Next, we're going to shift to Ken's cardboard favorite team, although it's not depicted on this. I've got 3 here. Valery Nikushkin. Was really off to a hot start. I mean, he started with Dallas, but now he's with the Avs, and I think through 7 games he had 12 points and then got injured. So hopefully he bounces back, because with a star-studded lineup that the Avalanche have, he would definitely be huge. Also, very unheralded, very young, 21 years old, second year in the league, Bowen Byram. Obviously, he's overshadowed by Cale Makar. We know that guy's stuff has skyrocketed, but I think Bowen Byram is a heavy play. I also think, because this guy is now with the Avs, Arturi Lehkonen, toiled for about 4 or 5 years with the Habs, and they weren't really a offensive juggernaut, and now he's really, I think this year in 17 games he has 14 points or something like that. So next up, taking a couple years, I've spoken about this guy before, Pierre-Luc Dubois, high first round draft pick, and hasn't really turned the corner, but as of late, I think he's got like 17 points in 16 games or vice versa. So he's with Winnipeg now, and I think he went over as part of that Patrick Laine deal. It looked like Dubois was in Tortorella's doghouse, so they swapped, and I think Laine was in, who was the coach of Winnipeg at the time? Paul Maurice. I think he was in the doghouse, so they swapped him and said, here, you try. Also, another guy who I think is very unsung is Jordan Kyrou. 18 games this year, 13 points. I think St. Louis is off to a slow start, and that may be the reason for it. This guy was a $1 fine all day long a couple years ago. Now, not so much. Switching back to defensemen, this poor guy was going to have a sweet year. Josh Norris, he is injured. I think he's only played in 2 games this year. Was expected to do a lot for the Senators. They've locked up Brady Tkachuk, picked up Claude Giroux, and I thought this was going to be a good piece along with Tim Stützle, that Ottawa would turn the corner, but we'll see what happens when he returns. Don't have his regular young gun, but I have this guy's Adam Fox. This guy's been in the league 4 or 5 years and quietly is just averaging a point a game. I think he's in the top 3 scoring of the Rangers the last 4 years. This guy's a gem. I don't think you can go wrong. He's not on Makar's level, even when you look at him at Harvard. Look at his total. His 3 NCAA seasons. What do we got here? 97 games, 116 points. Better than a point a clip, and that's what he's doing right now. So, and the last forward is Travis Konecny. I spoke about this guy before. Thought under Tortorella this would be his breakout year. He is having a fantastic year. He just hurt his, I believe it's his wrist, just the other day. Been tracking this guy well because I have him in my hockey pool. A lot of these young guns you can get, maybe not so much the Adam Fox canvas. A lot of them you can get, fairly cheap, probably in and around or less than the $40, $50 mark. New Jersey's off to a flying start, not solely because of this guy, but Mackenzie Blackwood does have a 4-2 record this year. They are just on a roll. This is another guy that I wasn't. He's the starter over Mackenzie Blackwood. And that is Vitek Vanacek. I grabbed a bunch of his when they were, $5 a piece. I think all of these are going to go out to, I'm not sure, PSA. I just have a big problem still with their turnaround times. I liken the SGC because lightning fast, 2 weeks, 2 to 3 weeks, I can ship it from Canada to JT Triple Crown 24, who then compiles it, ships it to Florida, back to him. He sends it to my P.O. box in Buffalo. I'm talking 3 weeks, and I got the cards in my hand. So I know I'm not going to get as much if I'm moving these, if they're in an SGC holder, maybe 30% less. But I don't know if the wait is worth it. And lastly, this is a guy I'm huge on. Jake Ottinger, goalie for the Stars. This year was, he's going to do big things. This guy's 21 years old. I think out of all the top goalies in all the statistical departments, he's top 5 or 6 in everything. And he is by far the youngest. And when I say youngest, he's 23. And I mean, most of the guys who are doing well are, 27, 28. And I know that's only, 4 or 5 years, but that's a lot for goaltending experience. So I have 2 of his canvas there. And I got a boatload, 8 of his young guns. So may look these over, see which ones to submit. But for now, that is all I got. So curious to know what you think. If you do think, if you don't think, if you don't give a rat's ass, that's okay too. Take care, guys.